Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your January the 3rd just for today in a meditation. How are you doing this morning? I'm looking forward to spending our time together. The title of today's meditation, Our Greatest Need. We eventually redefine our beliefs and understanding to the point where we see that our greatest need is for the knowledge of God's will for us and the strength to carry that out. Basic text, page 48. So we're talking about the 11th step. Okay. When we first arrived in NA, we had all kinds of ideals of what we needed. Some of us set our sights on amassing personal possession. We thought recovery equaled outward success. But recovery does not equal success. Today, we believe that our greatest need is for spiritual guidance and strength. The greatest damage done to us by our addiction was the damage done to our spirituality. Our primary motivation was dictated by our disease to get, to use, and to find ways and means to get more. Enslaved by our overwhelming need for drugs, our lives lacked purpose and connection. We were spiritually bankrupt. Sooner or later, we realized that our greatest need in recovery is for knowledge of God's will for us and the strength to carry that out. There we find the direction and sense of purpose our addiction had hidden from us. In our God's will, we find freedom from self-will. No longer driven only by our own needs, we are free to live with others on an equal footing. There's nothing wrong with outward success, but without the spiritual connection offered by the NA program, our greatest need in recovery goes unmet, regardless of how successful we may be. Just for today, I will seek the fulfillment of my greatest need, a vital guiding connection with the God of my understanding. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer and the third step prayer. Moment of silence now. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. God, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. Amazing. I don't know. I always get something from saying those prayers. They're so short and they guide me in the right direction. As soon as I hear them, my heart adjusts to where it needs to be. I hope that one day that you will feel the same about that prayer. It's so simple, but such a blessing, right? Okay, so we're talking about our greatest need. We're talking about all of the stuff that our active addiction kept us from. The most important thing that I think was lacking in my life was a spiritual connection with the God of my understanding, or with a God, period. I mean, the drugs were the God, right? Okay, so I had switched God, and I had become so used to meeting the demand of the God called drugs that I lost connection with my true higher power. In a sense, I sort of turned my back on that relationship because I wasn't patient enough. I mean, what I wanted it right now. And I thought some of my best thinking, even though evidence proved that it wasn't, I thought some of my best thinking was actually done under the influence, right? It wasn't so much that it was my best thinking. It just was my inhibitions were removed, right? I didn't have to deal with the same level of anxiety that I suffered from. And so I thought that was a plus for me. But if you go back in your own history, I don't even have to go through my own experience, strength, and hope. If you go back in your own and think about what using drugs kept you from. God's will was hidden from you, in a sense, because it was camouflaged with my high. I mean, we don't just say that, we avoid using mind and mood altering substances for a reason. The reason why we try to avoid them is because they are mind altering. They are mood altering. They do create a change in our perception of reality. I mean, it's undeniable. Even some of the stuff that we say, is legal. It's undeniable that they change our mood. It's undeniable. Different substances change things to different degrees. But the point is that the perception of reality is altered. Let me give you a real example, right? Of something that I perceive it's not a big deal. I love coffee. I mean, yeah, there's been times when I've tried to not have coffee, but I love coffee. I also love tea, right? So I'm not one of those people that I just have to have coffee, but I like my coffee. Some people like their cigarettes. They like their vape, right? So the reality is that my perception of reality, even with caffeine, is now that I have more energy than I actually do, right? My perception of reality is even altered in something as simple as that, right? The reality is that I need more sleep. I need to eat better so that I get the nutritions that I need so I don't flat out during the middle of the day. Something I did yesterday, and I rarely do this, but there's this Uncle Ben's makes this dish that you can throw in the microwave for 90 minutes, and it has 80 grams of carbs. And because I know I just kind of bottom out in the middle of the day because I get up so early, right? I told myself, you're going to eat this for breakfast. And I rarely eat breakfast. But I knew when I was eating that, even though it tastes okay, but it's like, so I'm eating it, knowing that it doesn't have the best flavor, but it has what I need to get through the day, right? It has something that's going to stick to my bones, in other words, right? I could do that. And I believe I would. Yesterday, when I got to work, I didn't have a single extra cup of coffee. Most of the time, I'm constantly running to the coffee pot to get through the next client. I had enough energy to get me through my whole day with a single adjustment. So something as simple as having a cup of coffee, if that can alter my perception of the level of energy that I actually have, how much more so all these illicit drugs that we use, right? The point is that it kept me from my relationship, not the coffee, but the using of the drugs kept me from my relationship with my higher power. I used the drugs as a god. I used those to alter things and to create the illusion that I wanted, right? I gave power to those drugs. Now I've retracted the power because I'm no longer getting high, and neither are you. And I still find I need something I need direction. I need spirituality. I need a relationship with a God of my own understanding. I just believe I was created innately to have that yearning. Narcotics Anonymous is the most perfect program for me, and I think for us, because it gives us room to explore that area of spirituality without condemnation, without people shoving their gods down our throats. We get an opportunity to take a look at what we really need, what we really want, what feels organic to us. That's a privilege. That's an honor. I get to do that. And the only reason I get to do it is because I'm not switching gods. I'm not trying to alter my perception with mind and mood altering substances. It wouldn't matter how much money, how many hours I spend at work, what career I have, what degree I have, what businesses I own. It would not matter. It would not matter if I'm spiritually bankrupt. And what happens is that we confuse success with material gains, with prestige, money, property, and prestige. That's why we talk about that in the traditions. Because we confuse success with that. And then we still find that we're empty inside. Because now I'm no longer using the drugs as a god, but I'm using this money, property, and prestige as a god. And I'm worshiping that. I'm making that everything. I'm making that my answer. And because it's not the way it's supposed to be, it's not valid. It's not valid. Nor is it reliable. Right? The error of judgment for that is so vast that it's foolish for me to try to count on money, property, and prestige and measure my spirituality with that. But the one thing that I have that can't be taken away unless I stop investing in it is my relationship with the God of my understanding. And nobody gets to dictate that to me. Nobody gets to dictate that to you. And I don't have to be haughty with it, nasty with it, right? Like, why are you talking to me about your higher power? Okay, that's not mine, right? No, I don't have to be nasty with that. I'm just saying it's a privilege and an honor. I get that. I get that opportunity. And I treat it. I treat it like it's a treasure, right? I guard it. Nobody's coming in to my spirituality and snatching this intimacy with the God of my understanding away from me. If I lose it, you best believe it's going to be because I gave it up, not because I allowed something, someone, some situation to come along and take it. No, I fought too hard for this. And so have you. So have you. And when you get some air into your chest, right? You pull your chest back, you big up your chest, and you stand on the things that you believe in and on your intimacy with your higher power that gives you guidance and direction. When you start letting it be known, I'm not a pushover. I'm not a doormat. I'm not using today. When I get high again, that's when you try to take advantage of me. Don't try to take advantage of me right now because I'm in my right mind. I have clear thinking. I'm sober today, sober-minded today. And I have a relationship with a God of my understanding that cares for me and loves me and is going to take care of me. So whatever you're trying to bring to my table, manipulate me, that's not going to work. When I get high, you do that. But right now, the person that I am, the person that you are, we do have guidance. We do know what God's will is. We've taken our self-will and set it aside and switched it for God's will. And we have the power and the strength. We have a knowledge of his will. We have power and strength to carry that will out. And we're confident. My ex-sponsor used to say, I'm Godfident, right? Not confident. I'm Godfident. We have that certainty today because we've invested and we can make withdrawals in that relationship anytime we need it. And a lot of times we need it and don't even know it. And we're still making withdrawals because we've invested. And if, let me take, and this is like my favorite topic, right? If you are a newcomer or someone that's been coming around newly, or you have lost your direction in this 11th step, right? Reset, just reset. A friend of mine, she texted me, she said, these are the words that I need people to focus on for the year 2024. And let me pull it up so that I can quote it right. She said, these are the words: birth, reset, return, and recompense, right? So it's that reset that I'm focusing on, that return, that restoration, that recovery, right? I get to recover today, and so do you. Okay, you dropped the ball. That's my point. And I'll end it there. You dropped the ball. Okay, pick it back up. It's your ball. And if you don't pick it back up, nobody else is going to pick it up for you. It's a ball that is for you, called recovery, and you have to take care of it. I have to take care of it. It's our privilege to do it today. It's an honor to be able to do it. We get to do it today. We don't have to. Money and property and prestige will carry us very, very far. But at the end of the day, it is mind and mood altering in and of itself. And if our spirituality is not in check, and if money and property and prestige aren't built on the foundation of spirituality in this 11th step, if it's not built on top of that, it's not stable, it's not reliable, right? I want the best for you. That's why I'm passionate about this. I want the best for you. I told some of you, I'm not hearing from you. And I rarely see anything in my email anymore, right? recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. You got a question about your step? I can help you. I'll do my best. I keep the conversations related to your recovery because that's what I respond to. I'm not into responding anything about politics, causes. I don't even want to tread on that because I am highly opinionated, right? But if it's about your recovery, hit me up, recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. And it's just an opinion. It's just whatever I have experienced with that, I'm going to bring to the table. If I don't know anything about it, I'll let you know. Right? My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. And I know that you, after this long podcast, I know that you're going to have a beautiful day on purpose if you listen all the way through. Stay in touch. Take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.